Hey, thinking of detoxing? Well, it's not just a quick fix. It's a step-by-step process that if it's done incorrectly, it can cause more harm than good. So you want to be a little bit careful, especially for your brain and your nervous system. Hey, so if you're new here, my name is 𝐬𝐮𝐬𝐜𝐫𝐢𝐛𝐞, and I help you optimize your brain health so you can feel calm, focused, and productive every day, you and your family. And if that sounds something that you're interested in, make sure that you hit that subscribe button and click the notification bell so you don't miss out on any of my brain boosting tips. So detoxing isn't just about drinking juices or taking quick fix supplements, even though that can be a part of it. It's a multi-phase process. So each stage plays a critical role in making sure toxins leave your body safely and efficiently. So today I'm going to walk you through the essential phases of detoxification from phase 0 to phase 3. And I'm going to show you how each of these phases support your body naturally, or your body's natural detoxification process, without causing harm to your brain or your nervous system. So we have phase 0. That sounds funny, but I think they already had phase 1, 2, and 3, and they're like, wait, there's got to do something before that. And that's the preparation phase. It's, reducing the toxic load. So before you dive into an active detox, you need to prepare your body. And phase often, which is called phase 0, this preparation phase is about reducing your toxic load. So when you start detoxing, your body isn't overwhelmed. Here, you're going to focus on cleaning up your diet by eliminating processed foods, sugars, inflammatory foods. You're going to replace them with whole foods that support your liver, your kidney, and your gut. So the key, and because these are the key organs involved in detoxification, and also your gallbladder, which is part of your liver. Okay. Phase 0 also includes you have to stay hydrated. You need to reduce environmental toxins, and even supporting gut health with probiotics. This foundation step is going to make sure that your body is ready to handle the detoxification process safely. So first, you also need to make sure that your elimination pathways are open. We have 5, I think, right? So we have our bowels, we have our kidneys, we have skin, we have our lymph system, and we have our lungs. So we breathe stuff out, we poop stuff out, we pee stuff out, we sweat stuff out, right? And we move our toxins through our lymph, and then that goes through a whole process. So we want to make sure that's working properly. The one that you can tell the most, obviously you can tell if you're sweating. If you're not sweating, then that part's blocked. And if you are not pooping, that's a big one. So you have to make sure that your bowels are open. If not, what happens is if you're stimulating, so if you have toxins in a cell and they release and then they start to circulate and then they go to your bowels and your bowels are stuck, then they're just going to get reabsorbed, go back through the liver, and go back somewhere else. And then it could even be worse because they could go somewhere else to your brain. And maybe they weren't in your brain the first time. You need to make sure that first you're pooping once a day, twice a day, whatever, regularly, and not like just a tiny bit. So first of all, water. If you're not pooping enough, make sure you're drinking water. Drink more water. Drink a gallon of water a day. I don't mean like a gallon of water at once because there's too much of a good thing and you can oversaturate your kidneys, and that can cause a lot of problems. But throughout the day, you can drink like a gallon of water if you need to really rehydrate. The type of water I talked about in the last video, the type of water is going to be important. Make sure your water is clean and pure and, if possible, mineralized in structure. But that's going to be part. Second is you can take herbs. Or look at your fiber. Are you taking enough fiber? People used to, like when I was a kid, my mom would give me prune juice or whatever. So we have prune juice or prunes, or making sure you're getting enough fiber. But then you can take herbs. 2 of my favorite formulas, so either Dr. Christopher Lower Bowel Formula is good, and then Bowel Mover by 𝐶𝐿 is good. I'm going to write those down. Because whenever I come up with a product and I want to put it in the description, I have to write it, otherwise I'll forget. Even though I do, it still might be an issue. Okay, so 𝐶𝐿 Bowel Mover works great. I really like it. It's my favorite. You need a practitioner to order it for you. So if that's an issue, you let me know because I can do that. Dr. Christopher Lower Bowel Formula, you get it on Amazon. If you live in Utah, you can find it in your health food stores. I don't know if you can find it in your health food stores in other states, but he passed away a long time ago, but he was local, so that's why they're here. I find with the Lower Bowel Formula, you need more of it. If you need that initial push for the first few days, you need to dose up on it. And I find that the bowel formula, you don't need as much. It just must have to do with the types of herbs that are in it. They're herbal. So make sure that you're doing that. And then that's like the big thing. Once your bowels are moving, then you want to be supporting the liver and your kidneys. And we call this opening up the drainage pathways. And you can do that with, Dr. Christopher has a formula for kidneys, a formula for lymph, a formula for be the main thing. Liver, kidneys, lymph, I guess, is the three kind of main things. You could also do it homeopathically, and there are drainages. There's a company called Picana, and there's 𝐬𝐵IO. So 𝐬𝐵IO, you need a practitioner, so I can order those homeopathics for you. I have a FullScript account. What FullScript is, it's an online dispensary. It's not like mine, I didn't put it together, but it's a company. FullScript is a company. They have all the really good brand functional medicine quality, practitioner quality products on there. And then with my link, then you can go on there and then you can order whatever you want, or you let me know and I can help guide you and I will order what you want. But on FullScript, they have, I think the Picana is on there, because I think I've ordered through them. I might have ordered through a different company, but I think they're on there. But anyway, those are two, 𝐬𝐵IO and Picana are two different brands that help support drainage through homeopathics. Or you can go herbal. And another thing to know is that liver and gallbladder. So your gallbladder, your liver makes bile, stores it in the gallbladder. The gallbladder should excrete the bile when you're eating to help break down the fats. Otherwise, if you have a gallbladder issue, if you don't have your gallbladder, you should be taking like ox bile, or you should be really not eating much fat. So you have to be very careful about the fats you're eating so that your body's able to break it down. Not that you can't have any of it, because you still need good fats. But like omega-3, there's a couple omega-3 versions. There's one in particular that I know, and there might be two, that are like pre-digested omega-3s, because omega-3 really doesn't come from fish. It comes from algae. Fish eat algae, and that's how they get it. So there's like a couple that are pre-digested, so for people that have gallbladder issues, so they don't have to worry about breaking it down and they can absorb it easy. Bitters, bitter herbs like dandelion leaf or dandelion root. Like dandelion is a classic bitter that you can put in a salad. That's why you should eat your salad first if it has bitters, because it stimulates the bile production and the bile release of the bile. So anything that's bitter is always good for you. That's why really dark chocolate is good, because it's bitter. So bitter herbs, there are things that are bitter, are very good for you. As a society, we have learned to not like bitter, but I have relearned to like bitter. So it's possible. Where am I as far as, there we go. Okay. Phase 1 is mobilization of toxins. So we're going to be releasing the stored toxins. So phase 1 is where detox process truly begins. So during this phase, your body starts by breaking down stored toxins from fat cells, tissues, and organs. These toxins have been stored to protect your body from their harmful effects. But now it's time to release them. So this breakdown produces what are called free radicals. Those are unstable molecules that can damage cells if they aren't properly managed. So to handle these free radicals, your body needs strong antioxidant support, including nutrients like vitamin C and E, glutathione, NAC. NAC is a N-acetylcysteine that is actually a precursor to glutathione. So is vitamin C. And so glutathione is like your body's main antioxidant. Melatonin is your brain's main antioxidant, and glutathione is like your body's main antioxidant and detox support. So if you've heard about, that's why. These antioxidants help protect your brain and body from the oxidative stress caused by toxin release. Wild garlic can get kidneys to excrete toxins. Minerals can help push metals off their binding sites. Cilantro is a good mobilizer. It's a weak binder to mercury. It helps get it out, and it binds to it, but it might drop it off. So you do want to have other binders on board, like chlorella is a great binder. It's a smart binder. So as far as binders, am I going to talk about binders later? Because if I don't want to ruin maybe I might talk about binders later, so I don't want to talk about it too early. So because we're in phase 1, we're talking about unlocking the toxins for the next step, which is phase 2. And that's the conversion and conjugation. So making the toxins safe for excretion. So in phase 2, we take those mobilized toxins from phase 1, make them safe for elimination, which is the conjugation phase. That's where the liver attaches specific molecules to the toxins. They convert them to water-soluble compounds that can be safely excreted from your body. This conversion is essential because without it, the toxins could recirculate in your system, causing more harm, and we've mentioned that before. So key nutrients involved in phase 2 include sulfur compounds. That's why glutathione, if you ever take it, like it might smell sulfury or like rotten eggs. B vitamins and amino acids like glycine and taurine, which are crucial for the liver to do its job. By supporting phase 2, you're helping to ensure that the toxins are neutralized and safely prepared for removal. Phase 3, this is the elimination phase, removing toxins from the body. So finally, in phase 3, the elimination phase is where the now neutralized toxins are excreted through the urine, bile, or stool. And this phase is all about getting toxins out of the body for good. And so to support elimination, you need to focus on kidney and liver health, proper hydration, regular bowel movements. Fiber plays a key role because it binds to toxin in the digestive tract, helps it carry them out, and preventing reabsorption. And while I'm thinking about it, the reason eating an apple is better than drinking apple juice is because the apple has fiber, and the fiber actually will bind to the sugars, so your body doesn't just readily absorb all those sugars from the apple juice. Fibers are a good binder too. Staying hydrated, of course, is important. We've talked about that a few times. It helps the kidneys and the colon flush out toxins. Chlorella is a great all-around binder, so here's where I guess we're going to talk about binders. And chlorella is actually a food, okay? So it's a great source of amino acids, and it's a great binder. And so you can take a lot of it. And there's two kind of main forms. They come in these like little tiny tablets or in powder. So it's easier to take in tablets because it's like eating grass. Then they don't really taste like anything or taste like much. If you use it in a powder, they might taste like grass. So you can take, if you have a chronic anything, you can take 30 tablets 3 times a day. In fact, that's what Dr. Klinghardt was recommending for people with autism and Lyme, to take 30 tablets 3 times a day. I personally know somebody who that's all they did. They took a really high quality chlorella, really clean chlorella. My favorite source that I found, it wasn't where he got his. A good source that I found is the Health Ranger has a big can of 9,000 tablets. So when you know you're going to be doing a lot of chlorella, like I was doing with my son, I was giving him 30 tablets 3 times a day. And if your whole family's taking some, it ends up going fast, and it's the best price for chlorella. There are 2 kinds. There's Purindosa and Vulgaris. The Purindosa one has like a harder shell, like a little bit harder shell, a little bit harder to digest. It can be a little constipating, so make sure you're drinking water. But it's more of the binder, and the Vulgaris is a little bit better for the amino acid source because it's a little bit easier to digest. The Vulgaris is a little cheaper. The Purindosa is a little bit more expensive, I think, or at least from my memory. Other binders, and it's a great binder. It's considered a smart binder because it doesn't bind to the things that you need. It only binds to the things you don't need. Okay, so that's a smart binder. Charcoal. Charcoal is a great binder if you have acute poisoning, or if you're sick, or if you're taking it for a month. Charcoal is okay, but it's considered a dumb binder. It'll bind to everything. So if you're taking charcoal, take it away from your minerals and make sure you're replenishing your minerals. Some things have charcoal mixed into it, so I'm not a huge fan of that. But if I'm on just a 1-month protocol and I'm taking extra minerals away from my binder, then it's okay. But not for long term. Chlorella is great for long term, great for pregnant moms, great for nursing moms. Milk might be green, but the baby they call them like chlorella babies. So it's because it's a food too, and so it's a really good source of amino acids. All right, so that silica. Okay, so I mentioned silica either in this video or the other video yesterday. I can't remember the last week's video. But silica binds to aluminum and positively charged metals, maybe aluminum, maybe tin. I'm not like a metal expert, and zeolite has aluminum in it. Zeolite does have a little bit of aluminum, but it has a lot of silica. So because the aluminum it's already bound, you don't have to worry about it like reabsorbing that aluminum. But you can add extra silica to it. There's a diatomaceous earth. You can find it in the pool supply section, but you can also find it at your health food store, and it's really cheap. And basically, it's ground up exoskeleton of, something, and it's white. And you can take it; it'll shred the parasites because it's tiny little crystals that are sharp on a microscopic scale, so it can shred up parasites and stuff. And it's a good source of silica. It's like the poor man's way of detoxing and stuff. So you can add some diatomaceous earth to zeolite too, and you can get some like extra silica in your zeolite. Comes in a powder, but it also comes in a spray. The spray is for more of the cell. I would start with your gut first. Make sure your big stuff is gone, and then when you're working on the cellular level, you can use the spray. That's just my opinion. Some people just do the spray, and that's good. Clay, bentonite clay. I live in Utah. I saw a picture of the bentonite fields. I don't know what you call it. It's so beautiful. It's like from the aerial. It's like all these blue different colors. So I want to go one day out and see the bentonite. I don't know what they're called. They're not fields, but anyway, bentonite area. BioSil is a product that you can get in a capsule or in drops. It's high silica. It's very bioactive, and so it's a very good source of it. I use it a lot, and sometimes lately I've been forgetting to use it, but I use it a lot. It's great for your nails and your hair. But if you get the drops, when you put it in the water, you have to stir it. Actually, first of all, you don't drink it in water. It tastes terrible. So you put it in citrus, and then you can't really taste it. So I put in a little bit of orange juice. I just make sure I stir it because it's heavy and they sink right to the bottom. I just put the 5 or 10 drops. Usually I just do 10 drops, and I stir to make sure it's moving, and then I drink it. In the citrus or in tart cherry juice, you can't really taste it. You can't. I can't taste it. But if you put it in water, it would be horrible. So I would not recommend that. You can get it in capsules, like I say, but I like to get liquid when I can, just because psychologically I think you can absorb it better. And sometimes that's true and sometimes that's not necessarily true. Activated charcoal, again, we already talked about that. NDF Plus by BioRay. That is a really, okay, NDF Plus by BioRay, it's a very good binder because it has cordyceps in it, it has chlorella, it has a lot of different stuff. You don't need that much of it, and it's great for kids. It's a gentle binder, but it's really effective. That one, I'll put a link to it, or you can contact me, like how to get it. It is pricey, but it's effective. And 𝐶𝐿 also has great binders. 𝐶𝐿, you need a practitioner, so you have to reach out to me if you want any 𝐶𝐿 products. Or actually, maybe I'll put a link. I'll put my practitioner link for 𝐶𝐿. I'm gonna have to re-listen to this video to make sure I put everything in the description that I said. But 𝐶𝐿 has binders specific for heavy metals, specific for chemicals. They have one called 𝐕𝑅AD, so I think it's like so one's like for chemicals, one's for heavy metals. They have a biotoxin binder, so one's that's specific for like molds and biotoxins. Anyway, so it's good to be always having binders on board because we are always in contact with toxins, and rotating your binders is a really good idea too. Chlorella you can have all the time if you want because it's a food. You can rotate, have chlorella, have one for heavy metals. You can rotate every few weeks or every 4 weeks, like let's say every month you just do a different binder. You can do it that way too. But one thing you need to know about binders is that you want to take binders away from minerals. Just take binders like by themselves before you eat or anything, because you don't want it to be binding to the minerals or to the stuff in your food. So take it alone. And away, if you're doing anything anti-parasitic or anti-fungal or antimicrobial, you want to take that first. There's some people say take the binders first, get them on board, and then half an hour later take your antimicrobial so the binders are in there. Or some people like to do the opposite. So just separate them out a little bit. Going back to detox, detox isn't about speed, because the faster you try to detox, it might not feel so good. So it's about being balanced. And that's the thing about binders. Binders helps prevent that Herxheimer reaction. So if people are detoxing and things are recirculating, maybe that's why they're feeling sick. And they don't like that feeling, right? They don't like the feeling of being sick. If you want to prevent, that's why you take binders, to make sure that doesn't happen. And then if you do, go slower. My favorite way to bind, I just have one right here, or glutathione. We talked about glutathione. My favorite glutathione, because glutathione, if you take it, Quicksilver Scientific does have a good exogenous glutathione. Glutathione has a half-life of 7.5 minutes. It's good, but you do need to take it like all the time. I have these glutathione patches. What they do is they help upregulate your natural glutathione. So you need to make sure you have vitamin C on board. You have the building blocks. But what this does is it will upregulate your natural glutathione in your body for up to 300%. And it sustains it for a 24-hour period. So it's much better, it's much easier, much simpler. If you are curious to know about that, I'll put some kind of a link or something in the description about that, because that is my favorite way. And if you do, anytime you use that or any of the other patches, if you're feeling yucky, it's because you're detoxing. So you just back off, like anything, you just back off, you go slower. So no matter what you're doing for detox, you go slower. And because you don't want to herx too fast. I've known people that say, oh, I went to place a detox and I almost died. Wow. Yeah. And be careful. This is not really this topic, but if you have parasites and you want to kill parasites, have been living off of your toxins. So if you kill a parasite, it's going to release toxins. So you better have binders on board to make sure that you're prepared for that. Make sure you're pooping and everything. So never do a parasite cleanse without making sure that you've prepared your body for that. Okay, so if this video was as eye-opening for you as some parts of it might have been for me, give it a thumbs up. I'll share it with somebody that you think could benefit from learning about their brain's detox system. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell so you don't miss any of our upcoming brain health videos. Comment below if you are struggling with something brain related. If you have any questions, I'd love to hear from you. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.